pretty much get anything about like who survived and who didn't survive?
Oh, I can tell you.
You
guys, no, I'm not gonna tell you. I'll tell you that Dino survived.
So, can you tease anything now about maybe this year's crossover? Like, where are you guys?
Crossover. I can tell you that on Monday we're going to go in and pitch the crossover to the studio. That I'm really excited about the story that we are hoping to do. I need the studio to agree with us that it's a good story to tell. If we end up doing the story that we're doing, it will. I think it'll be bigger than last year's. And quite frankly, we really went into the crossover discussions for this year without a lot of confidence that we could beat aliens. Like, how do you top aliens? But I actually think we've got an idea that is even bigger and cooler than aliens. And at the same time, we've got some really big, I will say, emotional moves that are going to happen in the crossover. So the crossover is going to be something that is really game-changing for all 5 shows. All 4 shows. Still going to hit to next year where it's probably 5. But it's pretty big, and we really, every year we try to do the crossover bigger and more ambitious than the previous year, and we're on track to do that again this year. And I'm really excited about the title.
Just piggybacking off of that, might we get to see more of the Supergirl cast that are, interacting with the Arrow cast? Because I know that's something a lot of fans have noticed. It's basically was, just Supergirl.
Yeah.
So are we going to see that this year? Is that like part of the plan, the hopes?
Yeah, because you have to understand, last year we didn't build the production situation to do the crossover, knowing that Supergirl was going to be on the CW. So this year we are. So this year it's a true 4-way crossover. Last year it was really a 3-way crossover with Supergirl kind of kissing in. This year it is truly across all 4 shows.
Can you talk a little bit about the theme of this coming season there?
Yeah, it's family. It's both biological families and found families. Last year was very much about the building up of this Team Arrow. We saw new faces in the bunker, and by the end of the season, that brought relationship at the beginning with Oliver and the recruits had really gelled into a very cool, working relationship. But off the events of the season finale, we're screwing up that a little bit. We're playing around with it. So I would say last year we built a car, and this year we're taking the car out for a spin.
One of the challenges of bringing a kid into the cast is just that sort of cliche of like, oh, now this guy's got a kid. How do you avoid those pitfalls?
That's a great question, and it's a question that we've spent a lot of time talking about because it is a huge third rail. Bringing on a kid, and especially like with a superhero show and it's grim and gritty. I will say I got to give a lot of credit to Steven. Watching dailies between him and Jack, who plays William. It's great. It's like, oh, this could have been a disaster, but the performances really ground it. And that's the answer to your question. It's like, we can write whatever, but if we don't have great actors who really sell the reality, the emotional reality of that relationship, it falls flat. So, really thanks to Steven and Jack for, helping us avoid what could be a series-ending mistake.
We were talking with Katie before about Black Siren, Black Canary. Since a lot of fans expect them to grab, go toe-to-toe once again, are there any chance that they might actually form sort of partnership rather than actually clashing?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I think that really speaks to this larger question I get asked a lot of, is there going to be a redemption arc for Black Siren? And having given a lot of thought both to getting the question and to the question itself, I'm kind of like, you have to understand, it's been 5 years of Arrow, and in 5 years a lot of like, when are Oliver and Felicity going to get together? When is Laurel going to become Black Canary? And now it's, when is Black Siren going to be redeemed? And I'm like, I'm sort of like much more interested in answering and talking about the stories that we're telling now as opposed to the stories we may tell in the future, or may not tell in the future.
Sounds like you're not quick to redeem, but you want to play in that space that she's in and the dynamics that are created by that.
We talk a lot about, whether or not we should redeem her, how we would do so. But again, it's right now. It's like that's one of the advantages of having a show, knock on wood, that is staying on the air. You can have a long con. You can make long-term plans. I mean, look at the Williams storyline. That storyline started out in season 2, and it's only really coming into fruition in season 6. So that to us is it's the thing that excites us as writers. We really like planting seeds that don't come to fruition for a couple seasons. At the same time, it's the advantage of having a long-running show. I've worked on shows where you were always like on the verge of cancellation. You have to do everything immediately. And now we get a chance to take our time with things.
We're talking about taking time. I know one of the things is fans got so used to the villain reveals being within the season, and we have yet to find out who Vigilante is.
Yeah.
So is that going to come into play in season 6, or are you just going to make draw it out as long as possible?
No, I think you're going to get an answer to who Vigilante is probably sooner rather than later. But we were very enticed by the idea of having a mystery that didn't resolve itself within the season. We thought, we've never actually done that before. And I'm glad that people are intrigued by the character of Vigilante. I love the character of Vigilante, and we've known from the start who Vigilante was, but we really enjoyed just waiting for the right moment to make that reveal.
Do you think it's going to be a reveal that's really going to catch the fans off guard and surprise them?
That's always the goal. I mean, truth be told, we sort of go into every mystery knowing that there's a lot of smart people out there. Someone's going to figure it out. But no one, people will occasionally tweet at me with guesses. No one's guessed correctly yet. So that makes me slightly hopeful that we'll be able to still surprise some people.
We did just see a few days ago at Comic-Con the first look at Freedom Fighter Ray.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, can you give any updates on that project as well as maybe more Vixen, maybe the Constantine project?
Yeah, I can't talk about Constantine project because I'm not working on it. But the Ray, we're super excited about it. Basically the stage it's in is the animation is being completed. You guys saw the first few minutes of it. Vixen appears in it. Megalyn EK reprises her role as Mari, which I think is pretty cool. We're just in the throes of the Ray, and then we'll have a discussion, with CW about, do we do more Ray, do we do more Vixen, etc. It remains a very high priority for me to have Megalyn on Legends, so that her iteration of Vixen can interact with Maisie Richardson's iteration of Vixen. That's definitely on my creative bucket list for sure. And I like the fact that we're expanding the universe, even through these animated projects. It gives us a chance to try out some new characters, and if you've seen with Vixen, they sometimes make their way over to live action, and it's a fun space to play in. And Melissa Benoist plays an iteration of Supergirl in the Ray, an evil version, and it's fun. You wouldn't think that Melissa could ever come across as evil, but she's such a good actress, she pulls it off.
I think it looks amazing. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Now we're super excited. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.